Hi again. My name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller. And today we're going to be doing a what sold video from May 25th through 28th. It was a Monday through Thursday. Lots of sales on all the platforms. So this might have been the one where I had my first whatnot sale also. And y'all, it's kind of becoming a little bit more regular the more I get listed on there, that I am still making sales on there and Depop. So I'm enthusiastic about, getting more stuff on there, and hopefully I'll start seeing more regular sales on there. But let me go ahead and show you. There was quite a few Mercari, and then Mercari just kind of went dead. It's just kind of like, you're hot and then you're not. And it just kind of happens on all the platforms. I'm still not on eBay. But I did have a couple of really nice sales, so that makes it all, even out. I have 8 on Mercari to share with you for that 4-day period. First one was this Boston Red Sox metal tankard cup, vintage, because it said Hong Kong. Sold for $15. Kind of keep an eye on just, these videos are good to show you what is selling on each of the different platforms. And then this Living Nature Golden Retriever dog sold for $14.95. This one I got a really sweet letter. I guess somebody had posted in one of those groups where they help you find plush from your past, and a lady had requested help looking for this plush. Somebody sent her my link, and it was a Walmart zebra bean plush, and it sold for $25.46. Next sold Falls Creek Baby Elephant Lovey, $8. Puffkins, I had small lots, and I just decided I took all of the lots down, made this one large lot, and it sold on Mercari for $29.95. I think some of these were the older ones, some were newer. Probably not something I'm going to continue to pick up unless I find several at the same time. Black and White Dog by Best Made Toys from 2013 sold for $9.95. Barbie Tropical Pool Patio Set. This is from that very, very large lot of Barbie stuff that I picked up at a consignment sale. Paid $7 for the whole bag. Almost all of it was vintage Barbie. A lot of it was to this pool and patio set. And this lot of just the grill and food sold for $25. And then Panda Bear Surprise Plush. This is from that same series as like Puppy Surprise, Kitty Surprise. Funny thing is I had one bear that I had found quite a while ago, Mama Bear. Didn't have any babies. And then recently, probably in the last year, found one that had 2 babies with it. So I just divvied up the babies, and this one sold for $14.95. And then on Poshmark, I sold this Dakin Dream Pets. This is a vintage plush, sold for $10. And then Depop, I sold this Kohl's Dr. Seuss Max from Grinch Stole Christmas. It sold on Depop for $15. Whatnot. This was my first Whatnot sale, and I got all excited because I'd only been cross-listing like 2 days, and I made this sale. Now, this past week, I've started making a couple of more sales on there. But yeah, it was neat to get a sold on there right after starting. These were some Disney look and find books. One side was Pocahontas, the other side was Lion King, and I had 2 sets of them. And they sold for $25. And then on Etsy, story time here also. These were surprising. I picked this up, I want to say at the bins, so I paid maybe $2 for it. They ended up being Sandy Lion. Sandy Lion is a sticker brand that tends to do quite well. This was a sealed box of Winnie the Pooh stickers, and it sold very, very quickly on Whatnot. The issue is the buyer started sending me messages saying it shows delivered, but I don't have it. I think I live near a school. I think somebody stole it. We ended up going in and doing a very professional response. Thanks to Gemini, to them. And, they understood that there was nothing that we could do. They did open up a case in Etsy, and Etsy refunded them without, me having to be involved in that. I got to keep my money. They got a refund. So, just stay professional, which is sometimes a little bit of an issue with me. Yes. As far as tone, not professionalism, but tone.
And tone is difficult in email, text,
exactly.
Responding to these messages.
Yeah, it can be taken wrong depending on how they are interpreting your response. But yeah, we used Gemini, and it was a very, very professional response.
Because sometimes, you just want to do like the little, like the ASCII emoji of a middle finger or something, which you don't do. No. Sometimes you want to, but it just, and maybe the message came across poorly to us because of Rebel send me a text, and depending on what mood I'm in as to how it comes across to me. Yeah. Usually it's pretty bad. And it intended that way, probably. But no, just be polite, be professional.
Yep. All right. And then 2 sales on Poshmark. First were these Rock Republic women's jeans, sold for $11. The only clothes that are left in my store is stuff that has been listed forever. So I'm glad to see them gone. And then these Fisher-Price Geo-Trax vehicle lot. None of them were the motorized ones. They were just all loose vehicles. Again, these were several lots. I found a few more things at the bins. So I took down all of my listings and started fresh. And they sold on Poshmark for $20. And then eBay. First thing is this Minnesota Twins mascot bear. It was a pretty quick sell. I listed it in March, sold in May for $12.11. Walmart tan rabbit plush sold for $8.96. Again, another really old listing. And, it's, still selling for me slowly but surely. Carter's White Rabbit Lovey sold for $13.45. And I haven't said this in a while, but if you're new to my channel, I don't do free shipping, so this is all plus shipping. Pinky Panda Doll Care Set. Thinking this was a bins pickup. I just thought it was interesting. Definitely vintage. All of it was still in its little plastic case that went inside of the backpack. And it sold, again, in about 2 months for $20. Amscan Party Pals Cat sold for full price $9.95. Aurora Gray Rabbit Plush, 2 rabbits, sold for $11. The magazines are still selling. After being listed for a couple of years, I'm just selling them all of a sudden. These were Truckin' magazines from 1982. It was missing 1 edition, and it sold for $35.
We sold some shoes this morning. Mm-hmm. That's Tom McCann. It's been 2 years, 3 years? 2 years, I think. It's a big neighborhood sale, very fancy neighborhood around here, and we bought several pairs. It was a good deal. Sorry, it was a good price.
Yes.
And, we checked the comps, we checked the sell-through, and maybe we looked at something wrong, or maybe eBay was giving us bad search results because today was the first pair that sold, I think, out of that bunch. And we bought, 6 or 8 pair maybe?
Maybe 6, 5 or 6.
It was, just be very careful. And so I mentioned to Rebel when I was packing them up that, hey, maybe this will be like the magazines. And now that 1 pair has sold, we'll sell a bunch of them.
The rest.
So, but yeah, y'all be careful.
Yeah.
Check the solds, check the sell-through rate. And even then, it might not work out for you.
All right, Serta lamb lot. Combined all the ones that I had and finally sold them for $19. Probably something I won't pick up again. Mattel Wonder Pets. This is Lenny. These 2 Lenny figures sold for $10. Fisher-Price Little People Airport lot. These are the vintage ones. And they sold for their full price, $29.95. had the luggage. The luggage is harder to find, and then a lot of times, even when you find the luggage, not sure why, but kids love to chew the handles. So these were actually in pretty good shape. I think that was the reason why they sold so well. All right, this was a very quick sell, and it's one of those moments you think, did I underprice, because it sold immediately. This was a Mary Englebright ceramic watering can. I want to say I picked it up at a church sale, probably $2 or $3. I knew when I looked it up that it was going to be a good price. But, I had to take into consideration somebody complaining about packing this large ceramic item, but it ended up being a really nice find. So not all Mary Englebright is good stuff to pick up. So just, again, check your comps. But this sold very, very quickly for my full price of $59.95. Christmas tree pillow plush. I can tell this is a really long time ago because of the background that I'm seeing. And it finally sold full price, though, $9.95. Last year, at the end of the year during fourth quarter, I took almost all of my old listings and dropped the price to $9.95 just to see if I can get a lot of them gone this year. And they're slowly but surely leaving. All right, this was one of those times, 50% offer, but when you went into comps and what's listed and what's been sold, $15 was a good price. So I went ahead and accepted it, but it is Summit Heartwarmers Bear Plush. Had a little clown kind of outfit on, and it finally sold. Again, another really old listing. And then my best two sales of the week was this Baby Aurora Purple Hippo. I'm not quite sure what's up with the purple hippos in Aurora brand, but I have sold all of them for a lot of money. This was just a little 4-inch rattle plush. I think I ended up with 3 different sized one of these, but this little one still sold for $44.96. And then another story time. These wrestlers, we picked up a bunch of them at a yard sale, probably last year, right? Probably at the end of the year.
Last year or the year before?
No, because I got a 2510 on there, so.
Y'all just ignore me.
I don't remember how much we paid. I made several lots. A few of them I sold individually, and then a few of them I divided by like year or something similar to that brand maybe. But this set sold for $80. Was heading on its way to Texas. And then last week I went to check our mailbox and this package was back to me. The issue was, this was what the box looked like when it came back to me. Other than the tear there, this is what the label looked like when it came back to me. And they couldn't scan it back to me because there was no barcode. So it was still floating. It still was showing that it was delayed in shipment on the UPS website, and but it was still active. So we kind of probably messed up. But what I did, I contacted the buyer, which is the right thing to do. Explained to him that the package came back to me. I showed him a picture of the label. And he was like, thanks for letting me know. I was wondering why it was stalled. And I said, well, I'll go ahead and get it back out to you. Unknown to us, the post office said they could have fixed this for us just by writing the address again and then putting another little sticker on it. And we wouldn't have had to pay shipping again. That, they would have been able to go ahead and use the other sticker that they were going to print out. But by the time we realized that we had already printed out another label, and Robert had set it on the counter. And while one girl was scanning in the packages, the other girl was helping us, and it had already been scanned in. So there was no way I could cancel that label and let them, redo the other label for us. But
yeah, we messed up. We should have asked first.
We should have asked first. And we were asking, but then the other girl was just already scanning because they're really good about getting our packages scanned. But in the future... the package was obviously wet, And that had to do with why it totally faded out like that.
This is the first time in all the years we've been using a thermal printer that's happened to us.
The buyer told me, he said, that's why I tape over my labels. But he's probably using paper labels, and that's fine. But these labels, if you tape over them, they fade. It's something about it makes them fade, because I learned my lesson with my little tags like this, that if I put a piece of tape over it, it fades out and you can't hardly read it. I mean, you could, but like they were telling us also, almost all of their stuff is handled by computers these days. You could have read the label if a person had actually touched it, but they said almost nothing is touched by humans anymore when it's being transported through the postal system. So, you know, we messed up. You know, it was a large sale, as you can see, so it was worth me just paying the shipping again. I think it was like $8 shipping. And then let's get to Robert's stuff that sold. First thing that sold for him was a sale on Poshmark. He sold these 7 for All Mankind Slimmy jeans, and they sold for $28. And then on Depop, he made a sale. These Levi's women's jeans sold for $14. And then on eBay, Lee women's jeans, are you seeing a theme here? Jeans sold for $11.41. Chico's women's jeans sold for $18. VF Jeanswear, something we picked up a long time ago, but it finally sold $15.01. Another pair of Levi's 529 curvy jeans sold for $15.01. Levi's men's jeans 560, very large size, sold for $26.71. Wrangler men's blue jeans sold for $15. Tommy Hilfiger women's jeans sold for $19.51. And these Riders women's shorts, high-rise, cuffed, mom, all the keywords, sold for $18. All right, hope you guys enjoyed this. So some of the things that are selling for us right now, get you some ideas of things that if you've got them in your profit piles right now, get them listed. But you should be anyway. Get your stuff listed. Fourth quarter is going to be here before you know it. I'm shocked that it's already June. It just does not feel like it's June already and quarterly tax time.
Yes.
I don't like June. All right, but if you pay quarterly taxes, just a little friendly reminder, they are due next week. And it's time to get to work. Bye. Oops, that ain't it. Bert, please tell me I've not been this way the whole time. Oh, wait, I hit the wrong button.
Y'all, you see the technical issues I have to deal with this woman?